This is probably one of my bigger bucks to date.
Guys, I cannot believe that actually worked.
Looks like a double lung shot. It was hot, really hot.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, really appreciate you stopping by. And if you're not new to the channel, really appreciate you coming back. It's the first Saturday of the Missouri turkey season, and I'm out here trying to smack a longbeard. It is windy as all get out. I mean windy. 20 to 30 mile an hour gusts, and I'm set up in a strut zone of a bird that I was after Tuesday. I got a chance to get out Tuesday, had a good encounter, couldn't seal the deal. But I'm set up inside of the same strut zone I seen that bird using. And my plan today is to put out a funky chicken and a feeding hen decoy and see if that bird uses the same path. And if he does, I can hopefully elicit a fight out of him. I'm thinking with it being so windy today, that's going to be my best course of action, is to get something visual out there to try and draw them in as opposed to trying to call. Because with as windy as it is, it's going to be really hard for them birds to hear me calling. So that's where I'm at. Pretty morning, about 70 degrees. Just windy. I wish that wind wasn't here. That ain't gonna stop us from getting after them though. I got the decoy set. I'm tucked in pretty good. So we're gonna see what we can make happen. Well, I've got a longbeard with some hens at the end of the field. So it's gonna be an interesting morning. They're about as far away from me as they can be, but it's very visible out here. And the hens typically feed in a circle this way. I gotta work this morning, so I hope they do that in time to where I can actually, make a play on these birds. Now, if they get to taking their too much time, I can, I got a tailfan with me, I can try to crawl at one, but if this is the same bird as the other day, I tried that the other day, and he really didn't want to fight that bad, so I'm going to save that as like a last-ditch option. But we got a turkey. I'll see if I can get some good footage of him here in a minute. Three more longbeards just stepped out into the field, so I think there's a total of 4 longbeards and 1 jake that are over there. They seem to be kind of feeding this way too. And they do not like that jake. They're chasing him around, giving him the business, so hopefully they make their way over here and see mine and try to do the same thing. The good news is they're coming from the side that I actually have a ton of cover on, so there's also a bird that's fired up over here too, across the road. Good morning. Good morning. Here they come. I cannot believe that just happened like it did. I just killed a really nice bird. They were all working in front of me. They kind of came close to the decoys and worked back. Those jakes got curious and came over, and it brought the rest of the birds over. I'm totally fine with shooting a jake, and I was going to. But they were in such a close group whomping on that decoy, I didn't think I could safely take one. Well, not too much longer after that, here come these two longbeards, one on either side of them. And the bigger longbeard's on the right side, but I'd have to swing my gun across, and they're looking right at me. And the jakes are kind of in between me and him. But the bird on the left, who's still a nice bird, is completely free and clear. And he walks into 30 yards and sticks his head up, and I let him have it. He folded right there, flopped for a little bit. Those jakes, they're still here. They're still like whooping on the decoy a little bit. They don't care about the bird that's down over there, but I'm talking, and they're still 15 yards away, right here, pecking at this decoy and looking at this decoy. Awesome morning. One of the best mornings I've ever had in the turkey woods. Never touched a call, just put myself in the zone that I thought these birds were going to be in, sat down and shut up, and I'll let the decoys do the rest. I don't get to use decoys that often, but when they work, man, they work. Especially for self-filming, it's nice to have the attention on those decoys so I can mess with my camera a little bit. Guys, I cannot believe it came together this morning. I feel like I say that every time I kill something. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. But it's true, man. I spend so much time preparing and hunting and missing opportunities and messing stuff up that when it does happen, I get that feeling every time, like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that just happened. And it did. We got a nice bird this morning. I fully intended on shooting one of those jakes when they came in. They were giving me a show. One of them had a decent looking beard, like he was a super jake, but they were all so clumped together, I just could not get on one. But they made these longbeards curious, and they started coming in, and this guy was on the left all by himself, offered a nice clear shot. He's probably got 10 or 11 inch beard. His spurs are probably slightly over an inch. Big heavy bird too. I'm gonna weigh him when I get home. I bet he's a good clip, over 20 pounds. I mean, he's heavy. Good heavy bird. Could not be more happier with how this morning turned out. You know, sometimes you just got to make a plan and stick to it. I did get impatient a couple of times. I thought about trying to crawl on them when they passed me the first time, but they passed by me at probably 60 yards, came back, and the rest is history. I got to work today, guys. I'm going to get home and clean this bird up, and then we are going to turn this video into a catch, clean, cook video. Stick with me. Alright guys, so we're back in my house. It's been a couple days since I killed that bird, but we are going to make some magic happen today with some turkey legs. I've had this idea in my head for a long time, but I want to take the meat from those turkey legs, I want to grind it up into turkey burger, and I want to make some really good looking burgers out of it. I found some fresh morels from that hunt that we're going to throw into the mix, and I really think we're going to make something magical. Alright guys, so the first thing we got to do is get the meat off the leg. So the way I cut the leg, I cut it off at the elbow. You basically have the shank and the thigh that are there. Really good looking piece of meat. To get the thigh away from the bone, it's really easy. All you have to do is cut down to the bone and then slowly cut around the bone, and that thigh is going to come off in one big nice looking piece. The shank, on the other hand, is a different story. The shank has lots of tendons that are as hard as bones that run up and down it, so you can't just cut it off and go with it. You have to cut into little pockets inside the shank if you want the meat to come out of it. Now most people, for this reason, when they think of a turkey leg, they slow cook it because then you can just pull those out of here. But for what we're making today, I definitely wanted to use this meat, and this is how we had to go about getting it. Once we got that meat off the turkey, we put it in a saltwater soak for a couple hours. This helps draw a lot of the blood out of it. It's going to really help clean it up. It comes out of that salt water a couple hours later, gets a rinse. We dry it off. We let it sit in the fridge for a couple hours and air dry, and then it's ready to go into the grinder. Now, to grind this turkey and to really give it a binder, I wanted to put a little bit of fat into it. I did that by adding 3 strips of bacon into this process. This is 2 turkey legs. There's 3 strips of bacon in there. I basically just cut the bacon into 1 or 2 inch pieces and fed it in as I was grinding the turkey. And when I was done, I mixed it a little bit by hand and put the meat through the grinder again, just to make sure that all that fat was distributed evenly throughout my grind. And that brings us to this point right here, guys. We have our freshly ground turkey burger. I've got my morels, and they're only a day old. We got some buns, we got some Swiss cheese, we got some horseradish, and we are gonna make some great burgers. Let's get after it. First thing we're going to do is put a small drizzle of olive oil in each pan. We're going to follow that up with a spoonful of butter in each pan. We're going to turn our burger pan to a medium-high heat and then our mushroom pan to a medium heat. We're going to build our patties. It didn't need an additional binder. The bacon being ground and distributed in there really, really well helped these things stick together perfectly. You're going to build these things quite a bit bigger than what the actual bun size is because they're going to shrink when they cook, and you don't want a patty that's way smaller than what your bun is. For the seasoning on these, we just kept it simple. Used a steak seasoning, so it's a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of garlic. I'm treating this turkey like a darker meat because honestly it feels like a darker meat, so this made the best sense to me. You also want to make sure that you season both sides. You don't really have to wait for your mushroom pan to heat up. You can add them whenever you want to. The medium heat is going to cook these a little bit slower, and you're just trying to soften them up. Really, we're going to saute them. We don't really want them crispy. When our burger pan heats up, we're going to put those patties in there, and we're going to listen to them sizzle. We want these to cook hot enough that they're going to form a crust on the bottom. Once that gray starts to creep up to about the halfway point, we're going to flip these. As you can see, they've definitely got some dark brown crust on them. They're looking good, they're smelling good. Can't wait to dig into them. When the morels start to soften up a little bit, I like to crack a little bit of black pepper in them. It seems like black pepper and olive oil just go so well together. When my mushrooms are done, this is a neat little trick I figured out. I actually like to put my bun, I like to toast my bun in the same pan I cook my mushrooms in. It really absorbs a lot of that flavor. And you definitely want to toast buns when you're making burgers. It makes a huge difference in the final product. When these patties temp about 160, they're basically done. Mine go a little bit higher than that, you know, but as long as they're past 160, they're going to be good. You don't want to go too far past that because then you run the risk of drying your burger out. But what we're going to do here is we're going to put a slice of cheese on each one of these while they're in the pan, so that cheese has a little bit of time to melt. Makes a huge difference. And then we're going to reach up and turn our heat off. We're to the point now where we're going to build our burgers. I like to use horseradish. You can use any kind of burger sauce you want. Mayo, ketchup, mustard, and mayo. Just whatever kind of sauce you want on your burger. I put them on the top and I put them on the bottom. Now we're going to add our patties. You can see that cheese melted on there perfectly. These look so stinking good. We're going to throw our morels on there now. That's going to be the cherry on top. That's going to make all the difference. I think these things are going to turn out really, really well. All we have to do now is put that top bone on there, and we are ready to give these things a try. Alright guys, here it is. We have turned turkey legs into turkey burgers. I'm super excited to try this. I can't believe how much meat actually came off of those two legs. I only took enough to make 2 burgers. I probably had enough to make 6 in there. So you definitely get a lot of meat off of these. I basically made a mushroom and Swiss out of it. Toasted the bun, horseradish, Swiss cheese, fresh morels. Let's see how this thing tastes. So I'm going to give you my honest feedback on this. That is a good burger. There's just no way around it. It doesn't even taste like turkey. It's a dark meat. It almost has a beef or a deer-like texture to it. In fact, when you're cleaning it, it even looks that way. But it's really, really good. It's got just the right amount of fat. It's still juicy. I pulled these things at about 170. The horseradish, the morels, the Swiss, it's all working together. And this is a really, really good sandwich. And I'm not just saying that. This is a really, really good way to utilize the turkey legs. They're tough. They're hard to cook. Grinding them and then grinding them again, it makes them just as tender as anything you've ever ate. And this is a dang, dang good sandwich. Well guys, that's going to do it for this video. I really appreciate you watching it. Could not be happier with how these burgers turned out. They're amazing, and if you make it for yourself, if you make it for other people, you're going to like it, and so are they. So I encourage you to save those turkey legs and try something new. If you like the content of this video, definitely check out the turkey hunting playlist. So go to my videos, go to playlist, turkey hunting, and specifically in there, there's a video that you might enjoy called Last Minute Gobbler. It's a video where I kill a gobbler right before the day stops at 1. I call him up, a small drainage through some hardwoods, no decoys in the woods, super cool hunt, and I really think that you'll enjoy it. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. I'll catch you in the next one, and until then, good luck in the woods.